Let's go out to Charlotte and talk to Taylor. What's up, Charlotte? What's up, Charlotte? What's up, Taylor in Charlotte?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm talking to Charlotte in Taylor, North Carolina. What's up? What's up, Taylor?
I've just got a question about communication problems that I'm having with my husband. I'm sorry, I'm really, really nervous.
Oh, that's okay. You should be, because I don't know any married people that have communication problems.
I know, yeah. I'm the absolute first person that's ever been through this.
Who's ever called? What's
so
up?
It's kind of scary. But
Exactly. So what's up?
The main gist of it is, is that I feel constantly ignored about my feelings and my requests, especially in matters of safety.
Whoa.
And everything for our daughter.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So basically, there are a couple of big events that I know, after binge listening to your show, that I know that there's a logical thing that my brain is trying to do, and that my body is not feeling safe in certain things. But just basic things that I can't seem to communicate with him that are real safety things. For instance, I know it sounds small, but for me, it feels like such a big thing. Shutting the gate at the top of the stairs. Things like that, where I'm like, please shut the gate at the top of the stairs. This is very important. Our daughter is extraordinarily hyperactive. She beelines it for the stairs. I really need you to shut the gate, to the point where he doesn't listen. He doesn't actually follow through. And I've had to put signs up, please do this, as a reminder, and it still doesn't happen.
Where else does where else does he not show up?
His communication, he knows that he's bad at communication. He recognizes that. And I'm very blunt, and I'll point it out. But you're not communicating with me well. And then we'll have a good stretch of a couple weeks where he tries, and then he just completely wavers off. So just the way that he speaks to me, the way that he speaks to other people, where he doesn't realize that it comes off as cold.
Taylor, how long have you been with him?
8 years. We've been married for 5.
Okay. You have been covering for him and protecting him a long time. And you curated the staircase thing, which, by the way, is a big deal. If you've ever been to a house where a toddler's gone tumbling down the stairs, it is not funny. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
But you picked that story in lieu of other ones because you've defended this guy for a long time. Give me an example of where he's not safe. And be honest.
Oh God.
I'm right?
And I want to precipice this by saying
No. No defending him on this call. He's a grown man.
Okay. He has a bad habit of whenever I do point those things out to him that are unsafe, or that he's getting too angry or trying to argue with me in front of our daughter, I try to remove her from the situation. And there was a situation. It feels so stupid because it was months ago, but I was upstairs getting ready to go to work, and I heard my daughter crying, and it wasn't a normal cry. A mom knows when a cry isn't normal. And I know that she can be very difficult during, dinner time and things like that. This is right before she turned 2. And I came down the stairs, and he didn't see that I was right there. And he was so angry at her for not wanting to eat her food that he grabbed her leg and shook it and cried out in anger. And the first thing I did, I ran over. I wasn't yelling or shouting because I was just trying to get my hysterical, scared daughter out of there. And I picked her up and I swooped her up, and I was like, we are leaving. We are going upstairs. I'm separating. This is not happening. And I grabbed her, and she was clinging to me, and I took her upstairs. And he followed us up the stairs. He's like, no, don't take her away. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, we need space. We need space. She needs space. And he followed me up the stairs, and he would not leave us alone. He wouldn't stop. And I tried to go into our bedroom, and he was trying to get into the room, and I had her on my hip, and I was trying to close the door and lock it so that way we could just get the space for her to calm down. And he repeatedly hit me with the door while I was holding her. And I was like, you're hurting me. You're going to hurt her. And he was like, then you need to let me in. You have to let me in. Let me apologize to her. I'm sorry. You have to let me apologize to her. And I was like, please, you're scaring us. You're scaring her. She's crying. And he repeatedly slammed the door. And then I finally got enough leverage against the bed to shut it and lock it. And he just like wept out in the hallway. And then after like an hour, I finally felt okay for him to see her again. And he like wept over her. He felt awful. He's never done anything like this before. He's never hit me. He's never hit her or anything, but he felt awful. And he was like, I'm so sorry, that will never happen again. But I feel like I let it go too easy. And now everything's like bubbling up where I'm just like seeing things like a gate being left open. And I lose my mind.
Hold on. You should, Taylor, because you're not safe. And you've listened to the show, you said, for a while. You know I am as forgiving as they come when people do something stupid. It happens to all of us, right? And we live in a world now where a teacher can be perfect, just do great work for 20 years, and then she pops off and says one thing, and then she's fired. And like, that's the world we're in. I don't want to participate in that world. But when someone is violent with a child, followed up by violence with his wife, and here's the concern, there is a rage that is scary, but there is a self-centeredness. I will hurt you so that I can make myself feel better by saying sorry. And here's the big deal to me. Somebody snaps, they scream at their kid, they whatever. I used to tell my students all the time, doing something stupid in a moment does not mean you have bad character. Where I'm going to look for character is what happens immediately afterwards. And there's been no change. No, I need to go see somebody. No, will you forgive me? No contriteness. No, hey, how do I love you better today? How do I love you better today? There's been hey man, it's cool. It was a wild night, wasn't it? And now we're back to old Taylor. We're back to old household. And if you go back and listen to this call, you've apologized for your daughter being loud. She's 2 years old, for God's sakes. You've apologized for you. You've apologized for... You have all of the vocal mannerisms of someone who's in a very abusive, unsafe situation. I believe you. I believe you when you say he's never done this before or after. I believe you. But your body is running on razor's edge, right?
Yeah, because like I know that he loves me, and like he is.
I
don't know where it came from. He's such a good guy, and he tries. Like he goes through these big stages of really, really trying.
Taylor. Really, really trying is not enough here. It's not enough. You change. If you were trying to fix your car and all you have in your toolkit is a hammer and you smash the engine to pieces, you immediately resolve to go get new tools because you don't have the right tools to fix this thing. And B, get somebody to teach you how to do it. And infinitely more important than a stupid car engine is a daughter and a wife.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, Taylor, I'm going to honor your silence here. I'm going to honor your silence. And what I say about that is I've been prying a little bit and you don't want to talk about some of them. That's fine. I know you're not safe. And whatever that looks like.
He's never, I will say this, like ever since that moment, he's never even so much as like raised his voice at our daughter. Like
I know,
really
you know what he did? He unplugged. Instead of solving the problem, he detached from it. So instead of being a rageful, angry guy, now he's numb. And he won't even lock the gate. He won't even do small, basic things to keep your daughter safe, to make you feel loved, to make you feel safe inside your own home. because he's so untrustful of himself that he can't plug back in. And listen, I applaud him for unplugging for a second. But at some point, he's got to be a dad and be a husband. Right?
And yeah, no, I've asked him because, like I said, it was just so crazy because, like, he's never ever raised a hand at me. He's never violently, like, shouted at me or anything like that before. And I asked him, I was like, is there, like, something going on?
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. He did what he did, right?
Yeah.
And you and I both know that maybe not in that type of wild evening, there have been other things that make you feel unsafe. Here's what's important. You can't control his actions or his thoughts. You can't. There's not some magic thing you haven't said. There's not some like, oh man, if I had just done this, then maybe he would. He's making choices. He's an adult. At the end of the day, you are going to have to decide what your boundaries and what safety looks like for you. You're going to have to communicate them in a very direct and clear way. Here's what I mean. You take him out to lunch or take him out to breakfast and you start the conversation with, this is going to be a very hard conversation. And if you lose your temper or you get angry, I am going to leave. If you tell me that what my feelings are my feelings are stupid, I'm going to leave. I need you to listen directly to me without responding. Can you do that? And if he's a grown-up, he'll say yes. Then you tell him, I have not been able to come back from what happened a few weeks ago. I still haven't taken a full breath. I still can't, but I haven't done anything. I know. This is me. I can't breathe. And so the only path forward I see for us right now is that you and I go see a marriage counselor ASAP. And I've already got us an appointment. If you don't go, I hear you telling me you are not interested in being married to me. If you do go, I hear you saying you're very sorry about what happened and you're willing to learn new tools so that we can create a great family together. Do you hear what I'm saying, Taylor? That's how direct.
Yeah.
But if you go in and you're like, well, I'm so sorry that she didn't want to eat that night. No, she's 2. Of course, 2-year-olds don't eat every night. They're 2. They're just bundles of nerves.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, like, you're right. And he always says, like, we even talked about, I asked him, like, after the incident happened, I came downstairs and I was surprisingly very calm after I put my daughter to bed, and I threatened him, and I was like, if this ever happens again, I will leave you. I will take my daughter and we will leave. I was like, it doesn't matter how much I'm in love with you. I was like, we will go. And I feel like that scared him into not doing anything. Like I said, he adores her. He really does. And that's why I feel like it just came out of the blue, and I don't know what happened, but it isn't the first time that I feel like his feelings, of what he's feeling in that moment of my safety is disregarded. And,
Absolutely.
Like in the question that I wrote you guys, it obviously your body is telling you something, and it leaks into the attraction of your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because your body, you like can look at your husband and be like, wow, he is, like he is so hot. But like my body is like, no, I don't feel as comfortable as I should.
Taylor, here's the thing. I think you know as well as I do that this marriage has way more problems than you have ever wanted to say publicly out loud. I think it's going to be really important for you to take a yellow pad and start writing stories down, one after the other. And I know there are good stories too. You'll talk about that with your counselor, but I want you to take stories. I want you to write them down one after another, after another, after another. Because I think if you look at them out of your body on a piece of paper, you're going to find one of two things. There's been 2 or 3 big blow-ups over the course of your marriage that need to be addressed. They have to be addressed. Or you're going to find 30 are 40. You're going to realize, oh my gosh, my body's been trying to get my attention for 8 years. Because we're not safe. I'm not safe. Now I brought a baby girl into this and she's not safe. You're going to have to write down what you need. You have to write down what you want. You have to write down what your boundaries are. And you're going to have to communicate them directly. And remember this, behavior is a language. If he loves you and he loves that little girl and he's all in on creating something extraordinary, a life together, he'll be all in. If he walks away, he's telling you everything you need to hear. Thank you so much for the call, Taylor. I'm so sorry.